Hello everyone! We're watching another video from Bricky, and this time it's him talking about how Darktide is now. Now, for those wondering why I'm learning about Darktide now, it's because it's coming to console. That means I can actually play it without having huge amounts of trouble. So, yeah, I'll be able to play it for once. Isn't that wonderful? I'll be able to do things.
Sometimes food tastes pretty good, very
It does.
yummy, but meal prepping it, not the best, kinda dull, not fun. So why not pay someone to do it for you? And go ahead and check out this video sponsor, Factor. In fact, with fall now currently here, you can try all types of delicious.
This is actually pretty fitting, and this is from a year ago. Honestly, if I ever get some ads or make some really good videos where I can actually put ads on them, because I don't think I would feel right putting ads on these reaction videos. So, yeah, honestly, that's why I try and never do that over here. I mean, on my streams, I consider it fair game, but over here, when I'm reacting and watching someone else's video, it would feel a bit mean.
All options, all from Factor. They meet all the requirements you were hoping for. If you were trying to bulk, they got you covered. You're trying to cut, they got you covered.
I'm trying to bulk up for those who don't know. I know, listen, I might be a very strong monster boy right here, but I gotta bulk up, you know.
Go ahead and get with Factor. The meals are super easy to make. You simply throw them in the microwave for a couple of minutes and you are done. There's no setup prep for yourself. There's not an astronomical amount of waste. It is simply a lovely container, microwave, done. You eat, you enjoy, and you become healthier that way. And personally, it's the best tasting meal prep I've tried. And if you want to try Factor yourself, you can go down.
I have actually never tried Factor because I am low on muns. I don't have a lot of muns, huns, so yeah. Eventually Fable will come back and we'll see him again. Sniff, sniff.
To the description and go to factor75.com and use code Bricky50 for 50% off your first order. Factor75.com, link in the description, Bricky50, 50% off. Thank you, Factor, for sponsoring this video, and let's purge everything.
Oh. I'll be honest. I understand the urge to purge any and all demons, because Nurgle and Slanesh demons are the grossest, and I don't want to deal with them. So, yeah, I really don't want to deal with any of those. One's stinky and one's gross. Well, they're both gross, but you know what I mean. It's, yeah.
Darktide. It is a video game.
That it is.
You can play it.
I can play it soon enough. Hopefully I can play it soon. Soon. I'll be getting paid, yes, from my normal job where I have to work so very, very hard just to keep things going. Yes. The Bluebird demons are weird. They constantly say lottery numbers, both old and future ones. What? I know you're talking about Zeech demons, but what?
Made videos on it, both when it came out and also quite a few with my streams as of late.
Don't you just hate it when a beast of Nurgle blows its thick?
Oh no, 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 no. No, I hate everything. I hate everything. I hate everything.
Wow. It received one of its largest and most
No. No, 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 no. Ugh, I don't need to think about that.
expansive updates yet that comes with
No. 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 I'm trying not to think about any of that.
major overhauls to the gear system as well as talent trees for each of the
Let's focus on the game
classes.
and know what that was just said.
The question has been posed many times. Is Darktide good now? But the problem with that question is that it's asking the wrong thing. It's not about whether or not Darktide is good. It's about whether or not Darktide is complete. Now, I hold the rather hot take that Darktide has always been a good game. What I'm looking for in the title, just wasn't what everyone else seemed to have been looking for. I wanted a game with a great 40k aesthetic, solid co-op gameplay, and a general, yeah, I'll run a few games mentality to it. I was looking for 40k Left 4 Dead. I wasn't really looking for...
More or less you were looking for, quite literally, Vermintide, but in 40k.
Live service, long-term grinding kind of game. So, in a sense, I always got what I wanted. I played about 40 hours, felt satisfied, and put it down. To me, Darktide was always good. And if good is the wrong word, then I can say Darktide was always fun. Its issue was that it just wasn't finished. It was underbaked and it underdelivered. And it needed another full year in the oven before it should have been released. But those days are behind us, and the game has received its substantial new update. So how is it? How is the game as a whole now? Well, for starters, it definitely runs better than before.
Well, that's really good, because that means that'll be easier for me to stream. I played the beta on the very last day, so, yeah, it wasn't running good on my stream. The physical copy of the game, but not console to play it.
For the most part feels a lot better for me.
Did someone give you it as a gift?
See it chugging during some of the more crazy parts, but for the most part, the game seems to be moving at a pace that is substantially better than it used to be going at. Visually, the game was always very pretty. Everything looked great and felt great. So keeping up with its design aesthetic is fantastic. I love to see it. It still might be the game that gets the Warhammer art direction.
Why? That's a very strange thing for just some police officer to give you Darktide. That's strange. Anyway.
Action done the best. Nothing so far really grasps the universe this well, even though it's not necessarily an update. The fact that
Why are they giving you all this stuff, Common? This is strange. But yeah, I understand him that they're gripping the lore very well in game.
Runs smoother with this look is awesome to see. There are also some new weapons that were added to the game for the various classes. Not a ton, but since the launch of the game, there has been more, and that's good to see. Also, a few more missions too, which is nice. 40k missions here in Tertium kind of look the same a lot of the time, but the objectives are different, and that is also, once again, pretty neat. But let's talk about the meat of the update, the class overhaul. Before, you just had the skill trees down the line as you leveled up, and that was not enough to make interesting and varied choices in the game. It works for a beta, not a fully released product. Now, each class has 3 separate trees you can go down. Normally, they go along lines of damage, support, and some kind of third option that is varied. Before we even get to the skills, I want to point out the artwork. Games Workshop is once again completely horrid at showing off the full artwork of their products or at crediting their artists. So all I can do is show you it via the in-game menu. But look at that artwork.
Yeah, it looks pretty damn cool. Looks pretty damn awesome. Too bad we can never know whoever is painting this art. Thanks, Games Workshop.
Each of them is specific to that particular class gimmick. So you see the veteran, for example, you got the gun-toting version, the commissar/leader version, and the sneaky beaky-like version. The Zealot, the Ogryn, the Psyker, all the art just bangs like it always does. Credit your artists, GW. Let them post their work, please, because
you know they won't. They're too busy getting over their hordes of money that they're slowly starting to lose because they are messing things up. Honestly, they should just let people make games and just take some bits of the money, because, come on.
This shit is awesome.
Yes, it is.
The way the skill tree works is that each level gets you a point. Then you normally go down the various trees to determine how you want to build your character. And let's take, for example, the veteran. He's classic gunman shoot guy, and also the Imperial Guard are extremely cool. Each tree has 4 main components to it, along with some smaller perks and other base stat upgrades. Those are your grenade, aura, ability, and final modifier. For the vet, His grenades are the Shredder Frag Grenade, Crack Grenade, and Smoke Grenade. Each of them
Okay.
have their own utility and function. Then you have your auras. This is always some kind of buff that affects those in your aura. Darktide really likes it when you stay as a team, so for the veteran, it's either damage, movement, or ammo replenishment. The big one, of course, is your skill. Much like the artwork above, each skill delves into a particular part of the Imperial Guardsman. You either have the front and center damage dealer, great at popping heads and just outputting efficient firepower. Then you have the commissar concept. I guess it's more of a sergeant, if anything, the leader, the born leader. They have voice of command, which pushes back enemies as well as replenishes the toughness of your allies. Then there is infiltrate, which is the sort of stealth mode that allows you to go about where you need and do the guerrilla tactics that a lot of guardsmen are known for. These can be upgraded in tons of fun ways too, with various perks that affect your ability specifically. Voice of Command has an amazing ability that reduces its range but revives downed allies when used. Then, finally, you have the last mod.
If I look over at Games Workshop, there is a lot of changing happening, like more games and fully utilized codexes and more tanks for the orcs. Well, they're getting there, thankfully. It just took them forever.
This is normally just a huge bonus in some
button.
way, like massive damage or defense buffs or a crazy stacking option. Of course, despite each tree going with its similar vibe, left for damage, middle for support and tank, and right for movement, you can bounce around if you'd like, and have additional points to spend even when you get your final option completed. So if you want a smoke grenade but still want to do volley fire, that's totally...
I don't know why they took away the tanks for orcs.
An option. The Zealot has a similar concept to them. There is a main charge move, a special defensive aura, and a stealth ability too. Little unsure why they have the stealth option when the Guardsman also has that option.
That is weird for a Zealot, because Zealots are usually very loud and vocal for, you know, fighting for the God Emperor of mankind and defeating against all odds and yada. You get the point. You get where I'm going with this.
I feel like the last thing a Zealot would be is sneaky, unless you're doing like a death cult assassin style thing. But I would have way preferred some kind of horde clearing option, something that goes into large multi-enemy killed swings or flamers or something. But yes, the Zealot has the classic watch as I run in and somehow kill everything I see in melee or just die immediately.
I mean, it's either whether the God Emperor is with you or not. And if they win, then their faith is truly shown, I guess. Isn't it? Isn't that how that works?
Overwatch Genji syndrome, the middle ability, Chorus of Spiritual Fortitude, is a really interesting one as a general channel support ability for you and your team. The Zealot truly feels like so long as I keep murdering everybody, nobody can kill me. Nobody can be a witness if nobody's there to witness. And it's pretty fascinating.
The only witness will be he, because he is a servant of the God Emperor, it seems. I mean, if it works, it works. It's the same way of Doomslayer. That's how we do.
To see how they go through all the options. The Ogryn is also wildly changed in a lot of great ways. Firstly, you have Big Friendly Rock.
Big Friendly Rock.
It replaces your grenade with a big rock, and it's just never not fun. Get him, Brickle.
Brickle?
I missed. Next thing I see is getting a rock in the face. I don't care what kind of enemy it is.
Big rock, my beloved. Oh. No one can withstand rock, it seems.
Well, I don't want to do the Ogryn grenade because I have Ogryn rock.
Oh my god.
He also has the box of grenades, but they always explode now. And then you have the nuke. If you thought like, oh my god, how could I ever not use the rock every single time? They somehow found a way by giving you the Ogryn nuke. It's a gigantic bomb with an astronomical radius. It's so silly in the best of ways. Of course, you still have your bull charge, but you also have a massive AoE taunt ability, making you a pretty serious tank as well as keeping enemies off your team's backs. It's not as useful against ranged, but god damn does it help divert problems.
Big rock can come back on their own. You don't want me to pick up grenade box of grenade. I meant for... It's a hand grenade meant for space marines. Oh, then. That explains things and why it's such powerful.
Then you have your brand new point blank barrage. Basically, pull out your gun and proceed to never stop firing into the enemy. And the
Oh.
more you shoot, the better it is. And the more
Oh.
you shoot, the more fun it is. The Ogryn changes are really good. I like them quite a lot. I think it has probably the most interesting build options out there. Varied and hilarious at the same time. Finally, the Psyker now has a million new abilities, but everyone has diverted themselves to the bees and the dogs.
I mean, I'm glad the Psyker has so many new abilities, honestly. Besides Arc Lightning, I don't really know many of the abilities Psykers can use.
With bees and the
Dogs with bees in their mouth, and when they bark, they shoot bees at you.
Psyker has a lot of really neat new tools. Smite being one for lightning and the head pop still, but Assail is the obviously strong one, sending out homing darts and just immediately killing everything they touch all throughout the map.
Yeah.
It's so good that I think it's completely carried a lot of people to the higher levels, and so much so that I think it's become a crutch. Because Psyker can actually put together some disgusting combos by stacking all kinds of buffs and bonuses one after the other, but it feels like it pales in comparison to just Assail spam, which is unfortunate because their update is probably second only to the Ogryn's one in terms of great new additions. That said, Smite also seems really, really good as a crowd control option.
Oh my god.
Gets into the team comp thing when you go to the really high levels, and for the most part, it just seems like in your basic gameplay, Assail is the big winner. I'd say the new class update is the highlight, obviously, but it's also made the game a bit easier than before. If you were playing a lot of level 3s, and you're probably doing level 4s now, which is why they added a brand new endgame mission called the Auric Maelstrom. All of the upgrades you get are also just really good and often flat bonuses between the super good ones, so you definitely have been power crept a little bit. The last thing that's been changed is the overall gear stuff. This is a good general change, but it's also it's a bit too complicated for my smooth brain. Getting a gun is one thing, but getting a gun with the right rating is another thing. Plus, there is the perks, and there are levels to the perks, and you can replace up to 2 of the 4 perks in total. But in order to get fancy perks, you need to dismantle the exact same weapon with the perk on it already, which makes getting a god roll weapon rather difficult to get unless you luck out, which sometimes you do.
You know what? Give me a melee weapon. I don't care.
Oh,
Oh shit!
damn.
Savage.
Katakin Mark
Hitting at least
1.
3 enemies with an attack increases your cleave by 200% for 2 seconds. Level 4 perk. Wait,
The
this
Devil's
really
Claw.
But honestly, it's
want the
hyper-specific
bees and the
weapon
big
perks
rock.
that need to be removed to then be added to a new weapon. It's just a lot. Now, I don't mind if they make it hard
I mean, at least it's something new. They're adding different changes to the game to at least make it more interesting.
to get god roll weapons. They're called god roll weapons. They should be rare and hard to earn, looking at you, Destiny community. But I think some of the restrictions are a bit too much. It also creates a really bad leveling problem. At the time of writing this script, I have a total of 60 hours in the game, and I only have one level 30 character. I have another mid-20s, mid-teens, and around a level 10 final character of each class. Now, leveling wouldn't be as much of an issue if the weapons weren't so substantially worse before level 30. At level 30, they reach their max potential. So leveling up, upgrading, consecrating, all of that weapon option interfacing feels completely pointless until you are level 30. But getting level 30 takes a really long time. Now, they did make it a little faster with a new update, but it still feels way too long. Considering you really don't want to waste your money on new weapons until level 30. It feels like it's not a game, then an end game. It's just grinding chore work and then the game. When you hit
But there is a bit of grinding in quite a few good games, though, I will admit that.
30, you can mess around with your builds and weapons. And a whole new world tends to open up, and it's fantastic. But if you're a brand new person to the game and you hear you have to take around 15 to 20 hours of gameplay to get one character to the real game, it's pretty off-putting. Even if the gameplay is still rather stellar. But some of the most stellar gameplay can still feel like it's a chore when the rewards are lackluster. So it comes down to the question again. Is Darktide good / fun / complete? Yeah, it's still very fun. It's a good 40k game with a great look, and the gunplay is solid. Is the game complete?
That's kind of important to me, honestly.
I'd say yes, but complete in a way how a full meal might not satisfy you. Like,
What? I'm not sure what he means by that, but let's keep going.
You ordered a cheeseburger. You got
Okay.
a cheeseburger, but you're still kind of hungry because there wasn't a side of fries with it. You just
So
bought
you
the
think it
burger.
needs a
You
little
thought
bit
that would
more.
be enough, but it isn't. So you kind of wish there was a combo where the two of them were together, but it's not. This is one of those hipster burger joints with the horribly awful like metal tall stools.
Oh my god, I've been to a place like that. I don't order anything from there because most of their food is awful. The only thing I get is shakes. Like smoothies. Because all their food is awful.
And the wooden countertops and the rustic lights that sell you a burger
oh my
for
God.
$18.95, but not with fries. And they have home-brewed beer at $15 a glass. Yeah, it's like that. There's a saying in game development I've heard every so often. Players are really good at knowing when something is wrong, but absolutely abhorrent at offering fixes for it. Outside.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate for gaming. Like, we can tell that there's a clear problem, but we don't know how to fix it.
Small things like quality of life. I only say this because I'd like to offer some fixes, but I don't want you to take them with a grain of salt. I think Darktide just needs 20% more stuff. It needs 2 to 3 more weapons in the range and melee department for each class. It needs a bit more variety in its mission style. It needs another mini boss. It needs another like 3 assassination style missions. It just needs a bit more. I think they should really go down the Left 4 Dead route. Darktide's story isn't even a story. Its writing is god awful, and it's just fluff cutscenes for the most part. There is no Darktide story. Don't let them fool you. But there can be. The little 5-chapter campaigns in Left 4 Dead would be perfect. It also would give you a bit more of like a long-term thing to do with your friends instead of just popping around for small 20-minute missions every here and there. Having a full 5-mission campaign would be excellent. Pick a spot in Tertium, go through your 5 separate missions with their own cohesive level design and narrative, throw a boss at the end, and bam! Little mission campaigns like that would do wonders for this game. Would be absolutely incredible, and you can give out rewards for them. You can have a little contained storyline, a specific art direction of the area. It's a great maybe 2-hour-long session with your friends, because then it's a thing where you can all hop on and do this kind of campaign together. And as you go through the missions, you get
more
better
side
gear as
basically,
time goes on.
he just wants more stuff, which is understandable. Sometimes the game doesn't feel finished because it was over too quickly. Which, yeah, that can happen.
Final boss, possibly hyper special drops with hyper special perks. I mean, you could almost call it a raid, if I'm being perfectly honest, though it's a little bit different than that, I suppose, but kind of feels like it. Just, there's so many stories that can be told in Warhammer, obviously, and having that kind
there's so many stories
method,
in
I think
Warhammer
really serve Darktide well. On the other aspects of Darktide, non-gameplay related, the UX in this game, the interfacing, is downright strange. It's a new weekly contract, but when did it reset? Wait, but I've completed missions 2 hours ago. You have to look at them first?
Oh, that's stupid.
Oh my god. Why, when you go to this merchant, do you have it sorted by rarity low to high? I just don't really get why this is the way it is. And it just, it needs a bit more. It needs a reason to own guns at lower levels or to keep them to upgrade later on. And oh my god, I totally forgot. If there's anything this game needs more than anything else, literally, if there is any change for this whole game, let me change my voice. They gave you a barber for your appearance, but holy shit, let me change my voice.
Oh, you can't?
I don't know why you won't let me, but the voices in this game are some of the best in any 40K game, and 40K games have some of the best VA work out there.
Yeah.
Stay close or die. Simple as that.
Magnificent Emperor has guided our hands this day.
You should be more careful with those stray thoughts. I might get offended.
These are some of the best player character VAs I have ever heard, and the fact that I have to stick with one of them, especially when you've added a ton of brand new abilities with brand new voice lines.
Hammer of the Emperor! Weapons on!
is a crime. It is a travesty against the Golden Throne.
Yeah.
Please let us change our voices. So yeah, Darktide feels complete as a game, and if it launched as it is now when the game came out, I think the discourse around the title will be a hell of a lot less. As of now, though, I still think it could use a bit more. But do I think it's still worth the money? Well, money worth is different because what my money is and your money is totally different.
Because we make completely different amounts.
The whole thing, yada, yada, yada. But I will say I got my money's worth because the amount of hours I had in this game, even when it was a lot worse way back when, still met the, the hour per dollar ratio a lot of people like to do. I don't like the hour per dollar ratio. I think it's silly and it completely invalidates all
I've never heard of the hour per dollar ratio, I'll be completely honest.
kinds of single player games and the like, but I paid $40 for it and I got 40 hours and then put it down. Now I have 60. So like, yeah, I think it's good to pick up. I think the gameplay is really fun. It's fantastic with friends. It just needs its edges sanded off and a side order of fries. And change the fucking voices. That's it for me today. Quick one, I know. Darktide update, whole thing. We're going into the fall. You want some merch? You see this thing right here? It's beautiful. It's got a very special edition of my boy on it. You can find it at orchidate.com. Also, if you see the product tab on YouTube, it's there also. You can probably click it from YouTube.
By the way, I'm going to try to get merch, guys. So
cool. From there, we got a lot of stuff coming out this fall season. Always a big time for YouTube. Rogue Trader is December.
I need to play that game.
Very interesting. So we'll see how that turns out. Lots to do, lots to do. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. Come on.
It's yeah, Bricky usually always has some good videos so far that I've seen. Inquisition, Guardsman, the Rogue Trader, who is against the Cult of Trade. Bringing, interesting. But yeah, I think we're done with reaction for a bit, but, well, over here on the stream at least. For you guys still gonna get a bunch. Anyway, thank you all so much. I hope to see you guys later. If you like what I'm doing here, please do subscribe. If you like my commentary, then check out my Twitch where I talk a bit more. And hopefully, we will keep growing. And if you guys want merch from me, please say down below because we might start ramping up those t-shirts. I'll see you guys later. Bye.